Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Ace's Takes. This is my second video. I'm sitting down with my jug of water. I'm trying to finish this before the end of the video. Um, and my and my Tamagotchi. Look at him. Look at how cute he is. Oh shit, wait. Okay. I'm hiding my messy background. I have to clean my room. But like, look at him. He's so cute. It's the Pom Pom Purin limited edition guy. Anyways, I think he's adorable. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about Dr. Rachel Millner. Um, she has been posting some insane shit on her page. It's just so much brain dead. It's just, I don't know, it's a nothing burger. I watched this most recent one, but I haven't gone through any of these. So if no one's covered it, and by no one, I only watch four fat acceptance I only watch four anti-fat acceptance channels for the most part. I dabble in others, but the main ones I watch are Honey Bison, Angelica Unfiltered, Graphically Alex, and Sunny Side Up Gal. And so if none of them have covered the videos, I probably haven't seen it. So this is going to be a pretty earnest reaction, and I've only watched like the first few seconds of this one. So we're going to be getting into it because her takes consistently are just so they're so obviously biased. They're so obviously influenced by her eating disorder, and it is painfully, painfully fucking obvious that it's just all a cope. So I don't know. I kind of want to talk some shit about her. I kind of want to talk shit about her. So we're gonna be watching it. Oh,
Slash pickup day from my son's camp. And I can't tell you how many parents I heard talking to each other or other parents commenting on what their child looked like when they first saw them, mostly commenting on, oh, they lost weight or
that didn't happen. Straight up, didn't happen. Oh my god. Sorry, 2 seconds in and I'm already like saying that this is a lie. There's no way that this fucking happened. If your child goes away for like 1 or 2 weeks, the most that they're gonna lose is like 3 pounds. And sorry, but a 3 pound weight loss is not gonna be visible on your child unless your child is so fucking obese that they're like 200 pounds at the age of 9, and so they lost like 5 pounds at summer camp because they were like moving and not eating McDonald's for every meal for the first time in their life. But like that's the only circumstance. Like this is just straight up didn't happen.
look how much skinnier they look.
Again, didn't happen. Nobody's like, oh my god, look at how skinny my child is. Oh my god, Brad, you look so skinny now. Yes, you're gonna be so snatched at your 10th birthday party. Nobody says that. Straight up, nobody says that.
And it broke my heart. I hope that the parents didn't communicate that to the children, but I'm guessing because they were telling other parents, they probably said it to the kids too. But I think as parents, we gotta pause and think about what message it's sending when you haven't seen your kids in that long.
This is not about the video, but look at how red her face is. Oh my god. And she's so out of breath when she's talking. This is so concerning. I'm like, every time I watch her, I'm so concerned for her health because she just looks visibly unwell. Like, her eyes look dead. Her hair is like flat and frizzy, which granted, as your hair goes gray, it does get a lot more wiry. So like that could be unrelated. But she just looks so unwell.
And the thing you're noticing and commenting on and praising is that their body shrunk. You're telling them that that's the thing that matters about them, even more than finding out if they're happy, having a good time, made good friends, all of these other things that are filling their world at camp. So many fun things. Have you gone to camp? If you've gone to camp, put in the comments, what are your favorite memories from camp that have nothing to do with food or body? Today was
I don't know why the camera started falling at the end. I feel like you should have refilmed that part. I don't know. But, okay, even if like one parent, so I can imagine that this story maybe came from like one parent making a comment that their kid lost weight, but there's no way it was like every parent or a bunch of parents. That did not happen. I guarantee you it did not happen. Maybe one parent made a comment, but even if they made a comment, I guarantee you that that's not the only thing that they talk to their kid about. If a parent is sending their kid to a sleepaway camp, that shit's expensive. They care about their kid. they're not like one of those lazy ass bum parents that like they don't give a shit because sleepaway camps, depending on the camp, can be like over $1,000 for a week. It's expensive. So I can guarantee that this did not happen. All right, let's get into the caption. I picked up my son from overnight camp this weekend, and it made me so sad to hear so many parents commenting on their kids' bodies. I really hope that the parents didn't say it directly to their kids, but I suspect they did. As parents, we need to stop commenting on our kids or anyone else's bodies. When you're at visiting day or picking up your kid from overnight camp, there is a super long list of things to hear about. They've experienced so much at overnight camp. So many new friends and activities and experiences. Be interested in all that. Let them know how happy you are to see them. Let them know how much you love them. And keep all comments about their body to yourself. Are you someone who went to overnight camp? What was your favorite part that has nothing to do with food and body? My favorite activity at overnight camp was the evening activity. I liked that we got to be with other bunks and that there were different activities each night. Oh, and that it was cooler at night. I hated the heat even then. Tell me about your favorite. The caption didn't have much else that wasn't in the video. I do notice that like a lot of the fat acceptance people focus a lot on childhood. Not that your childhood's not important. Like your childhood is a very formative point of your life. Like obviously it's important and like it forms a lot of who you are today. But it feels like they're hyper focusing on these adverse experiences on their childhood to excuse their bad behavior today. It doesn't feel like they're bringing it up in earnest. It feels like that they're using that these lone experiences as a child because like they haven't experienced anything today that would like excuse this behavior. I don't know. That's just what it reads like to me. Okay. Next one. You do not need to know your weight to heal from a beating recorder. You do not need to do weight exposures to heal from your beating recorder. In our weight-obsessed culture, it is possible that you will find out your weight without your consent. See, I really hate how they water down the word consent because, like, are we dead ass? Finding out your weight without your consent? That's like saying finding out your cholesterol levels without your consent. It's a fucking data marker. It's one data point that shows the overall picture of your health. If we started going on about, like, I non-consensually found out my A1C. Fucking hell. Okay. And you do have to stop trying to control your weight to be free from a beating recorder. Like, okay, yes and no. Like, in the early recovery stage, yeah, maybe like in the first few weeks of your recovery, don't really focus on the scale. Yeah. But other than that, it is so important that you like learn how to healthily interact with the scale and like healthily track your health and healthily work on your nutrition. It is so important. It is such a vital step to recovery. And if you skip that step, I honestly don't think you're recovered. I think you're masking it. I really don't think you are. Cuz I've just seen so many people who like recovered from an eating disorder and they like even people who were like talking to Anna and not like hinging. Even they will be like, I can't know my weight and I can't restrict my food at all. Like I have to just eat whatever. And if you have to do that to like not relapse, you are not recovered. Sorry to break it to you. You're not. I just think this is so harmful. Okay. In the old days of CBTE, before Eating Disorder Therapy LA, or before Beating Recorder Recovery LA wrote the much needed book on doing weight inclusive CBT, there was a belief that people had to know their weight and do weight exposures to heal from an ED. Because that's true. And I know there are still providers who still believe this and practice this way, and it can be incredibly harmful. You know what else is harmful? Doing a health at every size approach to eating disorder recovery. That is so fucking insidious and harmful. I think it's disgusting. Because nowadays, you really can't find any beating recorder treatment center that doesn't doesn't use haze. You really can't. You can't. Maybe in some like more Republican states, but like in Wokeville, where I live, in the entire state of Oregon, there is one singular beating recorder recovery center that doesn't use haze, and they are adolescent only. What does that tell you, bitch? What does that tell you? If you don't need to use haze for kids to recover from a beating recorder, that tells you that when you use haze for adults recovering from a beating recorder, that is not an inherent part of recovery, right? Like, that's just a framework. What am I trying to say? It's unnecessary, is what I'm trying to say. It's not necessary. It's not necessary because beating recorders have nothing to do with your weight, really. Like, sure, they do. Like, that's what, like, people who are talking to Anna and some people who are talking to Mia or who are hinging. I don't have as much experience with those, so I don't really know. But, like, with people who are talking to Anna, like, yeah, sure, you're obsessed with your weight, but it's not about your weight, if that makes sense. Like, for me, every time I would talk to Anna, it was me pushing my feelings of failure onto food and using the food as a way to not feel like a failure anymore. So it really had nothing to do with the weight. Sure, I was focusing on my weight and I was hyper fixating on my weight, but it was not inherently about the weight. So Hayes has no fucking conversation here. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm not educated, obviously, if you're a scholarly, educated person who isn't fat acceptance, but does believe that Hayes is still a very helpful framework for recovery. I'd love to hear about that. I'd love to talk about that. But in my opinion, from my experience, I see no place for it in recovery. Okay. I know many, many, many people who have healed from their ED without knowing their weight or doing weight exposures. I really doubt that. I really doubt that. I don't think they're recovered. And I know many, many, many. I don't. Why do you repeat many? It's not gonna. Rep, Repeating yourself doesn't make you any more believable. And I know many people who had their ED perpetuated or healing was made harder because of knowing their weight and doing weight exposures. Probably because they were doing it too early. Sorry, they were probably doing it too early. I really think that like most um, beating recorder recovery centers and beating recorder therapists, I think that they are going about it all wrong. I don't think that they do their job correctly. I don't think that, and this isn't about everyone. This isn't this. This could be fake because like this is a conception that's arisen from me looking at people within the fat acceptance movement who have gone to therapy and have gone through treatment, and they're still very, very much deep, deep in their disorder. So probably not everyone. Probably I was probably exaggerating, but so clearly enough of these therapists, like enough of them, don't do their job correctly that we have this problem, that we have this entire community that is claiming that they're recovered and they've done the work when they're not. There needs to be a change. There needs to be a change to the whole. There needs to be more dietitians who aren't Hayes. There need to be more beating recorder therapists who aren't Hayes. There needs to be more non-Hayes. Even doctors' offices are Hayes. I logged into my dude, this fucking fried me. I see a psychiatrist for med management because I have ADHD and I need my Adderall. But I logged in I got like an email saying that I had to review a document, so I logged into my portal and I went to the document section and the document was talking about how they had a Hayes inclusive program for finding ways to help you like for executive functioning. Like they had like an executive functioning program and they were advertising it as being Hayes. Are we dead ass? These fat bitches can't even like learn how to sleep better and like function better without their weight being like included. Oh, kill me. Kill me. Okay. The thing that does have to change in order to be free from an ED are attempts to control your weight. No, that's not true, actually. That's entirely false because with bed, if you're going to bed, um, that's just gonna worsen it. That's gonna worsen it. And we can tell that it's worsening it because look at her. She, like I was saying earlier, she's inflamed, she's out of breath, she just looks unhealthy. Her skin is dull, her eyes are dead. She kind of scares me. She gives me uncanny She gives me uncanny valley. Okay. And unfortunately, it is possible that you will need to find out your weight that you will find out your weight without your consent. You may be asked to be weighed backwards and then handed an after visit summary with your weight on it. You may think you hadn't been weighed and then find out the hospital bed or chair weighed you before a procedure, and you find out the number before you even realized you were weighed. Girl, hospital beds weigh you because if you're in the hospital, you might not be able to stand up to get weighed. And it's important for your medications and if you have a procedure done to know your weight so that they don't fucking kill you on the surgical table. Do you know how anesthesia works? Anesthesia is basically like almost killing you and then bringing you back to life. That is a very, very fine tightrope to balance. Like, you have to walk that line. If they don't know your weight, they could fucking kill you. Or they could underdose you and you could be awake during surgery. Do you want that? No. God, sorry. I don't usually get this heated, but something about her pisses me off. I think it's just like the smug, oh my god, what's the word? Like when you think you're better than someone. Like the smug pretentiousness. She's just so pretentious and condescending. That's the word. She's so pretentious and condescending and snooty, and I hate it. And it's possible to have not known your weight, encounter a situation like that, and have to navigate it, and still heal from an ED. If that's if just finding out your weight makes you relapse in your ED, again, like I was saying earlier, you are not recovering. Oh my god. It's not about knowing your weight. It's about letting go of attempts to control your weight. If it's not about knowing your weight, then what was all this? What was all this? It's not about having no feelings about your weight or body size. It's about letting go of attempting to control your weight or body size and working through internalized weight stigma. I feel like Robin says, her brain is overly glycinated. That's so funny to me. That phrase is so fucking funny to me. But like, she is so inflamed. I can tell that her brain fog is off the charts just by reading this. Like, reading this is making me feel like I'm having brain fog, which I am. To be clear, if I'm not making much sense during this, it's because I am kind of brain fogged. I'm going through a health flare right now. I have HEDS and then all the lovely comorbidities that come with that. So I have HEDS and POTS and mast cell activation syndrome, or MCAS, as I'll probably refer to it in the future if I talk about it. And all those things do cause a lot of brain fog. This is making it worse. I feel like my eyes are glazing over and I can't fucking focus on it because it's just so repetitive. I don't know. Okay, last part. If you hadn't read Beating Recorder Therapy LA's Weight Inclusive CBT book, I highly recommend it. It's helpful for clinicians and clients it's helpful for clinicians and clients and challenges the old ways of doing things in CBTE that cause a lot of harm. Notice how there's no comments. She's flopping. Only 156 likes. How many followers does she have? 20,000 followers and she only has 156 likes. Oh god. Sorry, I don't know what's up with like my laptop switching to like the HTML stuff. I don't know what that's about. On to the next one. Triggers and trauma. A short story. I had to take one of my kids to an appointment this morning. I hadn't given it much thought until we pulled into the office complex, and I remembered it was the same complex my childhood pediatrician was in. Again, they so overly fixate on their childhoods. It's really fascinating. Someone I hadn't seen in over 30 years, but a source of a lot of weight stigma. Once I realized it was the same complex, I almost immediately remembered the scale in the hallway of the office and parts of the lectures I got about my weight. I first felt shame as if it was happening now, then wanted to turn around and leave, and then got angry at the doctors who stigmatized me. Holy shit. Guys, I need Graphically Alex to talk about this. He's way more qualified to talk about this than I am because he's like so well versed in like the psychological aspects of bed because I've never dealt with it, so I don't know. Obviously, I've never had bed. I've I've hinged before, but it's never been a recurring thing. It's always been because I'm fucking starving because I haven't been eating enough. Whether it was on purpose or I just forget to eat. Like sometimes I'll hit the point of hangry where I'm like sobbing and I'm like, why the fuck am I so upset? Like why am I so upset? I can't regulate right now. And then I'm like, oh shit, all I had today was 2 eggs and all I had yesterday was like 2 eggs and a yogurt. Yeah, that's why I'm upset. And so then I'll fucking like because I'm just looking for any easy food, I'll just like eat bullshit, which isn't good. Granted, I don't usually do that. I'm at my parents' house right now. They have a lot of ultra processed food, so I've been doing it more. I don't keep ultra processed food in the house when I'm living at my apartment, so that doesn't happen otherwise. But if it's available, I'm just gonna fucking scarf it down because I need energy before I can cook. I'm trying not to, but you know, one step at a time. One step at a time. But this is such an insane level of unhealed trauma. I've really never seen anyone like this. The fact that you just seeing your childhood doctor's office where you were weighed and told you were overweight and needed to lose weight. I guarantee that's all that happened. They weren't like, "Oh, you're 9 years old and you're this fat. You fat fuck. You need to go on Weight Watchers. You can eat 400 calories in a day and if you eat any more than that, then you're a failure." They didn't fucking say that. Nobody says that. They would talk to your parents. They might tell you like, "Hey, you're overweight, so your parents might be talking to you about this." They might say that, but they're not going to be like, "You fat fuck." Dude, oh my god, sorry. They're not going to say that though. They're not going to say that. And so the fact, hang on. Oh yeah. So the fact that like you remembered the scale in the hallway. There's always a scale in the hallway. They don't have the money to put a scale in every single room. They just weigh you in the hallway when you're walking to your doctor's office. That's so normal. This kind of tells me that she also doesn't go to the doctor as an adult now. Even though she is a doctor, I feel like if you've worked in a doctor's office, you would know that they keep the scales in the hallway. I don't know. I'm so sorry. This is such a batshit insane post. I really need someone else to talk about this who's more qualified because they're gonna have a lot more eloquent thoughts about this than I can even get out. The fact that she felt the shame as if it was happening to her now is so concerning. And then wanting to leave. You're here for your child and you wanted to leave because you remembered how you felt when you were like 9. That is so problematic. Oh my god. And then to get angry at the doctors. That's wow. You really need to do the work, girl. If you've been in therapy, it hasn't been working. Has not been working, clearly. My reaction is a good example of what we mean when we talk about triggers and trauma. It is a good example, but you should not feel that way. That is so concerning. It's what we mean when we talk about trauma responses, reacting as if it was happening now, or your nervous system remembering what it was like when the trauma was happening. If you are someone who questioned whether your trauma was real, a reaction like this is one indicator that you did, in fact, experience trauma, and that when you experience a trigger, your nervous system reacts as if the trauma is still happening. Depending on the situation, you may notice that your nervous system reorients back to the present pretty quick. Whoa. Depending on the situation, you may notice that your nervous system reorients back to the present pretty quickly or that it takes a little longer. Let this post be a reminder that triggering isn't just a pop psychology term. Triggers are real and challenging and can have a significant impact. Triggers often catch us off guard. They can stay with us for a while or pass rather quickly. Something can be triggering one time and not another. When you've experienced trauma, being triggered at times is an expected response. It deserves acknowledgement and care. Holy shit, guys. I wish my brain fog wasn't so bad because I can feel thoughts forming in the back of my head, but they just can't make it to the front to like actual words. I think I'm just like so shocked and concerned. I've never heard anyone so overtly say like how upset that these minor tiny things are for them. And like I do know that trauma isn't about like the actual event, it's about your perception of the event. But like this is just such a good example of like of how you create drama for yourself when you're in bed. When you're in bed and you're hinging, when you have a hinging disorder, you other creators talk about this all the time. Like I've been talking about Graphically Alex. Graphically Alex is such a good resource for like explaining how bed works in the brain and like the psychology of it. He is such a good resource. I really can't recommend him enough if you don't watch him. But it this is just such a good example of like how when you are in the issue, you will turn anything into an excuse to keep doing it. If you are that triggered by just seeing building, a building of a doctor who told you that you were overweight, you have serious, serious problems. And let this post, fuck it, dude, that scrambled my brain, oh my god. And let this post be a reminder that weight stigma or anti-fat bias is traumatic. It is traumatizing to experience. If it was real, it would be, but that wasn't anti-fat bias. If you are overweight as a child, that is a serious health problem. If you are overweight as a kid, I think it's like 80% chance that you continue to be overweight as an adult. That's not good. Obesity is bad, but lifelong obesity has crazy health consequences. It is so fucking bad for you. It worsens the health outcomes by regular obesity by so much. Like if you became obese in your 30s because you got your first desk job and you got fat because you stopped walking, that's one thing. But if you've been fat since you were 5 and you like continue to get fatter and fatter throughout your entire life, because let's be real, with a lot of these people, that's how it goes. That is so hard on your system. That is almost irrecoverable if you don't like lock the fuck in and fix your shit. That's a one-way ticket to an early grave. That's so concerning. And given that we live in a world where weight stigma and anti-fat bias are everywhere, you can be triggered at any time. That's real and it's hard, but it's not your fault. I know that a lot of people don't like the words triggered or triggering. I hear from a lot of people who feel the word is overused or used incorrectly, because that's true. The word triggered is used incorrectly all the time. It happens with so many terms nowadays. It's happened with the word autistic, it's happened with stimming, it's happened with overstimulated especially. Oh my god, that one pisses me off so bad. It's happened with triggered, like we're talking about. It's happening with everything. Every word is just overused and watered down, and it's very upsetting to me. Triggers are real, and we don't decide what is or isn't triggering to someone. That's true. That is true. I'm not saying that like I like when I'm talking about this and I'm saying how concerning it is, I'm not talking about the fact that like a small thing can't be triggering to someone. I know I kind of said that earlier, but like I said, I know that trauma is about your perception of the event and not what actually happened. But it's more the fact that she is what, like 40? If she's not, I'm sorry, she looks 50 or 60. She looks old as fuck. She's probably not. I don't think she is. I think she's like in her 40s. But she looks old. If you are in your midlife, if you are like in your 30s isn't midlife. 30s isn't midlife. You're right. If you're if it's been more than 20 years since something has happened and you've been going to therapy and you've been like doing the work and this is still your reaction to it, that is concerning. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like the fact cuz like small things can be really triggering to kids. Like societal fat phobia doesn't exist, but like as a kid, you don't really understand things, and so I can understand how like a doctor being like, "Yeah, you're overweight, you need to lose weight." I can understand how like that might be a little bit upsetting. Not to this degree. Like I couldn't relate to it, but I can see how it might happen. But the fact that she is her age now and presumptively has been going to therapy and she's still reacting like this, even when it's for her child. It's for her kid to go get medical help to make sure that they're doing okay. Just the fact that she's still reacting like that is so concerning to me. Okay. And being triggered is a way that our nervous system communicates with us. It's information and feedback. Also true. Sometimes triggers are predictable. Sometimes they catch us off guard. If you've experienced trauma, it's likely you have things that trigger you or cause a trauma response, and that makes sense, and it's not your fault. Didn't you say that? Like, you said it here. It's so obvious that, like, she can't think straight. Like, whatever's going on upstairs has left her so addled. She kind of doesn't make sense. She's so unstable. She needs serious help. She really needs serious help. I don't say that lightly. She really does. Okay.
Calories.
Learning
Day
numbers,
plus
it's easy as can be. Add them up, subtract them down.
eating after
Math
8
is fun, let's
minus
This AI generated AI generated song in the background is pissing me off. I fucking hate AI generated music. It pisses me off so bad. It sounds like shit. It always sounds like shit. It sounds so formulaic. It's just, ugh. Music is really important to me. It's my special interest. I hate AI music. It's so soulless and awful. It sounds like shit.
There are
fiber
crowd.
minus
Count to 10
exercise
like little friends.
plus BMI.
Well, yeah, because that doesn't make any fucking sense. Are we so dead ass? Are we so dead ass? Rachel! Rachel! Oh my god.
One,
Okay,
two,
put a number
three.
of calories.
Yes. Well, so, here's the thing. Here's the thing. The number of calories on the back of the label, first off, not usually correct. Usually about 20% off, because they're legally allowed to be, so of course they're gonna say they're 20% lower than they actually are. The number on the label is not the net calorie, or is not the gross calories. It is not the total amount of energy in the thing. That is how many units of energy you are going to absorb. They've already taken the fiber out.
Learning
Day
numbers,
plus
Nobody thinks that 0 points is 0 calories, except if you're Alexandra Rodriguez, which she getting real big. She's getting real big. I hope she's okay.
easy as can be. Add
Again, this just makes no sense.
them up, subtract them down.
eating after
Math
This is nonsense.
8
is fun, let's
minus
wear our crown.
minus
Count to 10
exercise
like
What?
little friends.
plus BMI.
One,
Holy shit.
Fitness spaces are really predatory.
Girl, get a new mic. Oh my god, this is so bad. Girl, get a new mic.
There's not anything safe about being in a space that everybody in there is trying to not look like you. All you do is tell fat people to move and then create movement spaces that are not at all safe for fat people. So I think that's a really big
Wow. Ma'am, who is this woman? Who are you? Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. This is so fun. I'm baffled right now. I'm so baffled. This does not compare to, like, watching someone else react to it, because, like, I feel like when I watch someone else react to it, my Tamagotchi, what do you need, my love? Okay, I gave it a snack. Oh, this is so unserious. This is so unserious. When I watch someone react to it, I feel like I've seen so many insane takes on people's channels that, like, I don't even, like, it doesn't faze me anymore when I'm watching a YouTube video, but when I'm watching the original content, it, like, hits me how fucking insane it is, and I'm like, oh my god, what are you actually talking about? This is so insane to me. I bet that's what your brain sounds like when you think about food. I bet, dude, genuinely, like, her brain probably sounds like Taco Bell, Taco Bell, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Panda Express. We could have, we have this snack in our fridge. We have this snack. We haven't eaten in 2 or 3 hours. I think, it could be time to have, a snack. We could have, there's some chocolate in my pantry, actually. I think that, I could have some chocolate, or I could have a soda, or, there's a new Oreo flavor out. Let's go pick that up. That's probably what your brain sounds like, girl. This just is, this screams projection to me, because that's what food noise sounds like. It's no secret that diet culture is loud right now, and every company, person, program, pharmaceutical company, healthcare provider, trainer, wellness influencers, etc., who sells intentional weight loss is trying to capitalize on it. They are all screaming at once, and none of them have the answer because they're trying to fix something that's not broken, the size of people's bodies. Diets don't lead to long-term sustainable weight loss for the vast majority of people who go on them. They are a primary contributor to beating recorders. They lead to weight cycling and make you feel like shit. This is straight up untrue. Diets do not cause beating recorders. The beating recorder will always predate the diet. For example, the first time I tried to talk to Anna, I wasn't very good at it, but the first time I tried to talk to Anna, I didn't even know what a calorie was. How could that be diet culture if I didn't know anything about nutrition? I really didn't know anything about nutrition until earlier this year when I found the anti-fat acceptance movement and started being like, oh wait, like nutrition is actually like kind of complicated and I need to learn this. I need to figure this shit out. It really, really, it grinds my gears so bad whenever they claim that diets cause beating recorders, because it is so painfully untrue. It is so untrue. And it's so, not insidious, what's it called? Okay, yeah, that's not really the word. I tried to look it up. It's just like such misdirection. You're placing the blame in the wrong place. Beating recorders are from trauma and from emotional issues. They are not about the diet. They're not about society. They're not about anything besides your own issues in your own brain. That's the only thing that affects it. It has nothing to do with anything else. Oh my god. I'm not reading the rest of the caption. I can't do it.
In order to heal your relationship with
Girl! Your mic! Oh my god.
movement, you have to have permission not to. And so if you don't have a no, then your yes isn't very meaningful. That's the place to start. In order to heal your relationship.
These clips just feel like nothing burgers. Dude, my mason jar. Oh, I have a towel. I forgot I had these. My mason jar is like leaking so bad because fun little silly thing about me, I'm autistic. I have autism. Hey guys, and I'm not saying that like in the oh my god, I'm so quirky, I have autism. I mean, like, no, I straight up have it. I clinically have it. I can't drink warm water. My body rejects it. Like even lukewarm, it has to have ice actively in it. Otherwise I can't drink it. But it's just because I'm used to my water bottle, but my water bottle has soap in it because I put it through the dishwasher, and it didn't have any soap on the outside, but I drank from it and it tasted like soap, so it's soaking in some baking soda right now. So now I have to use a mason jar, which I love mason jars. Look at this, it's so cute. Look at the sunflower. Look at the sunflower on it. She's so cutesy, but it's just leaking all over my desk. So
I wonder how old I would be before they would put me on a GLP-1. It wouldn't yet be approved for kids my age, but they would tell me it was worth the risk. I wonder what I would miss out on because of the side effect. I wonder how long it would be before I started gaining back any weight that I lost, and they would tell me to try harder.
listen to the emotion in her voice. She sounds like on the verge of tears. Like she sounds like it sounds like her throat is tight and she's like actively upset. This is so concerning.
My heart breaks for all of the kids who are being put on GLP-1s before they're old enough to consent.
This is a rare occasion of me like agreeing with her. I do actually agree that it's really fucked up to put a kid on a GLP-1. I think the youngest I would say is like maybe 16 would be all right, because like at 16 you can kind of like rationalize and like make you could like go through and like research and like make an informed decision. But like any younger than that, like even 14, I feel like you're still kind of on the cusp of like not having literacy in medical issues like that. Like at 14, don't get me wrong, I thought I was so grown up. I thought I could absolutely like make my own decisions, but now looking back at when I was 14, girl, I could not. I could not have. Um, so I do agree with her, and like I agree that it's like really I agree with like the point that fat acceptance creators make where they say like where they talk about how fucked up it is that kids get bariatric surgery. That's also crazy. If you're a kid, if you're still growing, you should not go on a bariatric. You should not. No, no. That you need vitamins, you need minerals, you need your body is still growing and changing. If you like if you get bypass or like if you cut out part of your stomach, that's gonna do some damage. Like that's not okay. Like even if it's safe and like won't kill you, I, I don't like that.
By the adults in their life who are supposed to love and accept them unconditionally, who are being asked to shrink before they're even given a chance to grow. If I were growing up now,
Yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into this one because oh my God, that is a long caption. I'm not reading all that. Girl, leave a TLDR. I'm not reading all that. Um, yeah, I mean, I kind of do actually agree with this one. I'm not going to get too much into it, so let's go to the next one. Hi, so editing ace here. I just wanted to kind of clarify and update what I meant by this. I just kind of said like I agree with it and then moved on, but I didn't really get into the aspects of it that are still insanely problematic, like how overly dramatized it is. Like I said, I was having some pretty bad brain fog. I still am. I'm working through it. I'm trying some new medications, you know. We're working on it. But I just kind of wanted to clarify like I do not agree with the tone of the video at all. It is the way she put the video together was so manipulative. These things really do happen. Like there are fringe cases where like bad parents meet bad doctors and these unfortunate situations happen to the kid. Like that one girl who was put on a GLP-1 at 12 years old. I think that's insane. However, these are fringe cases. Like I said, I can really only call to mind two examples of stories I've heard. Like that one girl that I just talked about, and then Angelica Unfiltered sister. She got bariatric surgery when she was like 13, I think. So there are fringe cases, but she is making it seem like they are militantly forcing GLP-1s onto children. And that's simply not happening. That's not happening. One, most parents can't afford it. Two, it's not FDA approved for anyone under the age of, what is it, like 13, 14? And maybe it's 12. I don't remember. I'll look it up and put it here. But, like, so that insurance wouldn't cover it. And so it's just really insane to me and ridiculous to pretend like this is that children are being forced to go on this at large enough scales that this is like an issue that we need to make a video about. A dramatic video nonetheless. She was like I was saying, she sounded so upset. She sounded like that's the kind of tone of voice I would use for like starving puppies or like kids in war zones. That's not the tone of voice I would use for like pretending that GLP-1s are being forced onto kids. So, yes, I agree that like children should not be taking GLP-1s, but I really like forgot to clarify that like the whole rest of the context of the video was insanely fucked up and manipulative, and I hate the way she talks about things, and it's just yeah. That's all I had to say.
Hi, I'm Rachel, psychologist, fat activist, and dog mom, one of whom is upstairs barking, so sorry about that if you can hear. I am in my basement trying to be away from the barking dog and scrolling social media, and it's summer here, so a lot of accounts coming up on my feed, people wearing bathing suits to the pool, the beach, showing off the bathing suits that they've bought. And a lot of people who were doing that on their posts that wearing a bathing suit on social media
is one of the most vulnerable things they've ever done, or the most vulnerable thing they've ever done. And listen, I get it. I understand why wearing a bathing suit in public or on social media feels so vulnerable, and a culture that makes that so vulnerable.
She talks so slowly. It just again, her eyes are so dead. She kind of terrifies me. She terrifies me a little bit. She wait, I might have a new favorite creator. Guys, I might have a favorite. I might have a favorite. Oh, I'm gonna have to keep up with her. Oh my God. I'm so sad. I'm so entertained. I'm so entertained. She like her brain is so addled that I'm like fascinated. If that makes sense. I'm sorry. I'm kind of being mean as fuck in this one. I feel like I was a lot less mean in the last one, but I don't care. I do not care. The last one, I felt like I was kind of picking on someone really small. Like if you only if they only had 2,500 followers, so that wasn't very many. They were it. I feel like they were mainly just like doing it for their small individual community and not trying to build a platform necessarily. Like they are trying to build a platform, but they're not trying to be a like the person that you go to for like um fat lib content. Like they weren't trying to be that kind of person, but like people like like Dr. Rachel Millner or Sonali, that's what it is. Sonali like Denali, it's in their bio. People, those kind of people, they are trying to be like trailblazers. They're trying to be the movement makers. And those people kind of interest me a lot more because I'm like, wow, holy shit, you're putting all your eggs in this basket, huh? Or, sorry, Cadbury eggs in this basket. You're putting all your Cadbury eggs in this basket, aren't you, girl? Oh my God. So, even though she's dead and terrifies me, and her brain is glycinated, as Robin would say, she fascinates me.
Vulnerable is a culture that has the focus on all the wrong things. Think about everything we've all been through in our lives, and of all of them, the thing that feels highest on the list of vulnerability is showing our body in a bathing suit.
Yeah, because the internet is like everybody. That'd be like walking out into Times Square in a bikini. That's gonna be a lot for anyone. I don't think that this is any like societal fat phobia, societal prejudice. I think that has nothing to do with it other than people are not used to having their boobies out in public. I think that's it.
The culture has set it up for us to feel so much embarrassment and shame about our bodies that posting a picture in a bathing suit feels that vulnerable.
Because a bikini is panties and a bra. Same level of coverage. Would you feel comfortable posting a picture in panties and a bra? Probably not. It's not that complicated.
Please follow my page for more anti-diet.
Please follow my page for more. You have to catch your breath between words, individual words. You can't like smoothly say a sentence. Like I get catching your thoughts, but you can't be like, please follow my page for more anti-diet fat acceptance content. You can't just say that. You have to get some help. I mean that genuinely. Like she needs medical attention. I'm so concerned for her.
Fat liberation content. Hi, I'm Rachel, psychologist.
Oh my God. I'm not gonna go through the caption. I don't think there's gonna be anything interesting in there. Her captions are just like nothing burgers. It's just the same fucking thing as her videos. I don't think there's any value in them.
Welcome to paradise.
Don't. Sorry. I know Green Day is like mainstream. I know Green Day is mainstream, but listen. I don't think you guys know how clinically insane I am about music. I don't think you know. I'm wearing a Pierce the Veil shirt right now. I've seen them twice in concert. Pierce the Veil, you are my favorite. Oh my God, you're my favorite band ever. They're such inspirations to me. But like when I was first getting into post-hardcore music, and if you're not a music nerd like me, or if you grew up during the time when post-hardcore was actually popping off, you probably don't know what that term means, and that's okay. It's just a term for the music that evolved from the hardcore punk music scene in Washington, D.C. So emo, pop punk, metalcore, deathcore, crunkcore, all the cores, there's a lot of genres. Midwest emo is another one that's post-hardcore. It's just a huge umbrella term for a lot of music, and I like all the music in it. I am a self-labeled post-hardcore fan. A lot of people would probably call me emo. I don't really care. I like all emo music pretty much. Like, not every song, obviously, but like every wave of emo, I fuck with it so heavy. I love emo music. Oh my god. It's so good. But in 2024, I was first getting into post-hardcore music because that was my senior year, and so I was like finally finding me. I was finally like out of my depression that was caused by the um pandemic, because that's when I was going into high school. And so I didn't have any friends, and because I didn't have any friends, I became really fucking weird. Like one of those really chronically online kids. And so obviously then of course I didn't have any friends because I was an annoying, weird, chronically online kid. And so it took me until my senior year to like get my stride and like be normal again. So at that time, that's when I was like figuring out what I actually liked, and I got so into Green Day. To this day, I could like not off their first two albums. I can't do it for 1039 or for Kerplunk because I'm not super into those because they're more traditional punk and I'm not into traditional punk. But for any of their other albums, so from Dookie onward, you could play like half a second of the song and I can tell you what song it is. If you start playing a karaoke track of like any Green Day song, I can sing it by heart. I know every word to every song. I know every album. I know my shit. In 2024, I was in the top 0.0005% listeners for Green Day on Spotify. That's how dedicated I am. So I know that they're mainstream, and I know that they're like everyone listens to them, and they're like not niche or like I'm not like unique or cool at all for listening to them. But don't use Green Day's fucking name for your fat acceptance, fat liberation bullshit. They're actually cool. Okay, Green Day's actually cool. They still openly speak about Palestine. They still actively talk about for like gay and trans rights. They do actual real activism. Don't fucking rope them into your fat acceptance movement. I'm not actually that upset, but if if a musical artist that I like comes up, I will take the opportunity to talk about it because, like I said, I have autism and it's my special interest. So I had to talk about myself for a bit. We can go back to nonsense. But other than that, there's nothing interesting on this. So moving on.
To you as a psychologist that has specialized in working with people struggling with the disease, when are you going, you're using a GLP-1 as a diet?
Mel, I want to stop you right there because
You're not stopping anyone at that pace, girl.
you're using language that you may not realize is actually very pathologizing and stigmatizing, and that's the O words. So these are words we don't use. They're essentially slurs. And along those same lines, body size is not a disease. People have always come in all shapes and sizes, and there is no actual disease that only fat people get.
Oh my god. Shut up about this point. Ugh. Sure. Actually, counterpoint. The one disease that only fat people get is obesity. Obesity is a disease. That's the one disease that only fat people get. And obesity has symptoms. The symptoms of obesity are these other illnesses, are these other disorders and diseases. Obesity is the precursor to these. I really don't understand why they fight this point. So, I mean, I know why. They fight this point because if they can talk against the health points for their fatness, like if they can be like, if they can say that fatness isn't unhealthy, then they have an excuse to continue with their disorder. That's what it is. That's what it is. There's nothing, that's the motivation behind it.
People in all body sizes get actual diseases, and body size itself is not the disease. The second part of your question.
It is the disease. The disease is called obesity.
Question is actually quite simple. If somebody, no matter what body size they are in, are taking a GLP-1 for weight loss, it's a diet. That's all you need to know. Why are you taking a GLP-1? If the response is because I want to lose weight, you have your answer. It's a diet.
Do you
Took so long to say absolutely nothing.
I just needed to hop on and vent for a minute because I'm pulling up research on clinician weight bias and how it impacts client care. And along with the research comes all these advertisements for GLP-1s.
Get a blurrier screenshot next time. Oh my god.
These pharmaceutical companies are so predatory. It is infuriating. It's so harmful. And come on, ResearchGate, do better. I just needed to hop.
So, I don't know how to tell you this, but ads are targeted. You're probably getting GLP-1 ads because you're looking into weight bias and weight stigma. It's probably just like grouping it into one thing, and you're like, oh, you're interested in fatness, well, here's this drug. It's as simple as that. They're not looking through your phone camera and being like, fat bitch here, let's send a Wegovy ad. They're not doing that. If it's an article about weight, they're probably just giving you an ad about weight as well. Or they don't target ads at all, and GLP-1 companies just spend so much money on advertising because that's like single-handedly holding up the US. Not single-handedly, but it's holding up a lot of like the GDP right now. I mean, I don't know how true that is. That's what one of my professors was saying. Because we were talking about like the Super Bowl ads, and like there were really only 3 categories of ads this year, and that was fast food, gambling, and GLP-1s, and like and AI. That's the 4 categories: AI, fast food, GLP-1s, and gambling. And so those are the 4 things holding up the economy right now. That's just what I'm basing that off of. That might not be true. But they're spending a shit ton of money on advertising right now, right? So they might just be spending enough money that they're like pretty much on every single article no matter what you click on. The hinge restrict cycle is incredibly common, but I've never had someone come into my office and tell me that the restriction is the problem. People almost always identify the hinging as the problem, even though the hinging exists because of the restriction. There are several reasons why, one of which is anti-fat bias. No, it's probably because when you have hinge eating disorder, when you're in bed, the hinging is the problem. You are not really restricting when you're restricting. Like, you're mentally restricting, but like you're probably not doing it all that much because you are still rapidly gaining weight. Because you're just using the temporary restriction as an excuse to hinge. And so the hinging in bed, which is the most common beating recorder, if you combine the people talking to Anna and Mia, if you combine those numbers, it's still less than the number of people who are in bed. So it's not to say that those issues are not as bad, like no issue is inherently worse than another. But most people coming into your office probably have bed, because the fat acceptance movement attracts people who are in bed. So, of course, the hinging is the problem, because that is the majority of your cycle. This is so harmful. Oh my god. If you're uncertain, ask yourself this: would I be as likely to see hinging as the problem if I didn't think I would gain weight from it? Yeah, girl. You that would still be an issue. Because you are using a substance to cope. Oh my god. Would I feel as much shame or embarrassment about hinging if I wasn't worried my body would get bigger? Yes, because that's abnormal. That is not normal or healthy or good. It has nothing to do with the body weight. It's about the mental processes behind it. They really... They claim, they being like the fat acceptance community. The fat acceptance community claims to care about beating recorders, but they water it down so severely. It actually pisses me off so bad because they say that it's only about the food and it's only about the body size when it is so much more complicated than that. And I know why. I know it's because they're coping and they don't want to actually like they don't want to actually understand what the mechanism is and like what the steps are behind it, because that would mean that they would recover, because once you unpack it, then it's really hard to continue because you realize how fucking bad it is. And so that's why. That's why. They just want to continue it. But it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up and it upsets me so bad. If the way you feel about hinging is related to fear of weight gain, that's anti-fat bias. Jesus Christ. Oh. Well, okay. Same post twice in a row. Like I said, that glycinated brain is be wary of providers who say they want to help you feel better about your body while also supporting or encouraging intentional weight loss. These providers are failing to understand a basic premise. You cannot help someone feel better about their body while simultaneously stigmatizing them and trying to help them change their body. This is really... They've turned so fully against weight loss that they can't even comprehend the fact that weight loss is self-care. They can't comprehend that. For me, I've lost 50 pounds. That was an act of self-care. Me putting in the work to lose weight and doing my best to not fall into, like, to start talking to Anna again and not, like, or the opposite way, because, you know, when you have one issue, it's very easy to switch to another issue. And to one, not talk to Anna, and two, not start talking, or not get into bed. Learning how to lose weight healthily and sustainably, and learning about nutrition and learning how to nourish my body and fuel my body, that is an act of self-care. The fact that Rachel can't even recognize that, like, for some people in a healthy place, intentional weight loss is an act of self-care. And she can't even say that. She can't even recognize that, because then that would just go against her entire framework of beliefs that's supporting her disorder. Okay, so small issue happened. I was recording for a few minutes and hadn't noticed that my phone died. So I went through 2.5 posts without noticing before I tried to like switch to being a full screen video, and like went to check my OBS and realized that my phone had in fact died and was disconnected from my program. So had no camera, gotta cut that out. It's fine, because those posts that I was talking about were kind of nothing burgers of posts, but now I know to keep my phone plugged in while doing my recording, because I was only doing it for like an hour and my phone was over 50% and it died. So really hard on the battery. Didn't realize that. Now I know. But we're gonna end on a doozy of a post. I have never seen them claim something so fucking insane, and I'm just gonna go through it with you guys. I don't think beating recorders are simply brain diseases for the vast majority of people, but I do think that restrictive beating recorders, which all EDs are, impact the brains of the vast majority of people who struggle with one. Jesus fucking Christ. I can't even begin to unpack how insane of a statement that is. How insane it is to claim that every single beating recorder is inherently based in restriction. Because how the fuck would you explain, like, we're not even going to get into the big three. There's things like Pika, there's things like ARFID. Those have nothing to do with, like, weight or health. Those are caused by other things. Hinge eating disorder. When you are in bed, that has nothing to do with restriction. You have restrictive periods, sure, but those are minor. Those are not real restriction. I mean, for some people, maybe, but that might honestly, like, if you like really start restricting, I think that would lean more Mia. I think that might be talking to Mia. Obviously, I'm not an expert. Also, please ignore the bullshit on my floor. I need to get to cleaning. I've been having a health flare. Ignore it, please. Please. I can't even begin to get into how many levels of fucked up that is. Holy shit. I don't even know how to like begin to unpack that. It's so wildly and obviously incorrect. Let's get into the caption. Is this controversial? It's not controversial. It's wrong and misinformation. It is so clear that she is waist deep in her own issue. You're not even knee deep. You're waist deep in your own issue. You are drowning in your own issue. And you are using your own personal copes and your own personal ways of justifying it to push it onto other people and to encourage other people to continue with theirs. Okay, this should be the last interjection from Editing Ace, but I'm back to once again clarify what I was saying when my brain fog was too bad to fully get into what I was trying to say. Why this was so upsetting to me is because she claims to be an authority on beating recorders, and like she's a therapist on them. Like she sees clients and she claims to treat it. And when you fully lie about, or not even lie, just like misdirect people as to what the actual root of their issue is, you create an environment where they cannot effectively treat it. If someone comes to you and they have a hinging problem and they're like, hey, my problem is hinging, and you go, actually, the problem is the other side of it where you're not indulging all the time, that person then would work with you on not restricting. And that would lead someone, if you're not working on the hinge cycle, that would lead someone to continually hinge more and more and more because you're telling them that that's not the problem, the other side of it is. And so as an authority on this, you're encouraging your clients to continue their disorder and get worse and worse and worse. And that's what's so upsetting to me. And then publicly posting it on the World Wide Web, publicly posting misinformation like that is poisoning the public. You're poisoning your viewers with that information then too. You're teaching that to your viewers. So you're not only influencing your private clients to worsen their problems, you are encouraging the general public to worsen their problems. And it's just heartbreaking because you are an authority figure. You are taking people in under your wing and saying, I know you need help, let me help you, and then teaching them these incorrect things. And that's just so unethical, and it makes me very upset. I was too brain fogged to get that out, but yeah, just here to clarify, that's what I meant. And I hope you enjoy the last like 5 minutes of the video. I wish I had found this post a little bit later in my career. Not career, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I wish I'd found it a little bit later after I had more practice and more experience with commentary and talking about things. I wish I had, because there are so many things that need to be said about this that I just don't currently have the capacity to say, or I don't have the brain power to formulate words on this right now. I will probably circle back to this another time. There's a lot of things that I want to circle back to from my last video too. Like I've been saying this whole video, I need someone else to talk about this too. I need someone else to go through these and share more eloquent thoughts about this, because I really couldn't get all the things I wanted to say out. I'm working through this. Part of the reason I'm forcing myself to do this, even though like I'm in brain fog, is part of my brain fog is I've like haven't trained the ability to like speak eloquently on demand. Like I haven't trained my improv skills like that, and I used to be really fucking good at it. I used to be able to just like say shit off the, like I would have a thought, say it eloquently, but like as the years have gone on, my brain fog has gotten so bad that like I can no longer form sentences the way I want to say them. Like I know what I want to say, but I can't get it out. Like I can't find the words that I want to use, and so I'm trying to fuck. this is part of the mast cell activation shit. Don't worry about my skin being red as fuck when I scratch it. It's normal for me. I really wish it didn't end on such like a downer, because I was having a great time at the beginning of this video. I was having a hoot at the beginning of this video, let me tell you. I'm definitely gonna have to come back to Dr. Rachel Millner, because this is fascinating. Let me tell you, I have a soft spot for like the real weirdos, like the ones who are just like really off their rocker. I love them. I love them to death. I really do. I love it. But I'm gonna have to come back to it when I'm less brain fogged and it can speak more eloquently, because holy fucking shit, there was a lot here that I like didn't know how to get the words out for, and I want to be able to do that sometime, because I think I have a lot of unique opinions. Anyways, that was episode 2. That was a long one and a doozy. Oh my god. Oh, I need to go like take a nap now. The reactors I watched, they do not do this justice. Oh my god. Before I take a nap, I'm gonna clean my room though. This is my Listen, I moved out from this room like pretty much before I could like get it cleaned up from my previous crazy depressive episodes, so I'm still working on like fixing all the deep messes that are in this room, and it's still overwhelming for me to think about. I'm still having executive functioning issues, but I'm making myself start. So, after I get this filmed, I'm gonna start doing that and then edit it over a TV show. And hopefully I'll get this up by tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so hopefully I get it up by tomorrow. I hope so. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 2. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what's up in the comments. Nobody watched my last video, which is fine because it was kind of dog shit anyways. I hope people watch this one. Really hoping and praying people watch this one, because I had a lot of fun filming it, and I think it was a much better episode. I think I'm getting my stride a little bit more, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know if you thought it was shitty. If you thought it was terrible, let me know it was terrible. I want to hear what your opinion is, and so I can improve. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I hope you have a great day. Bye.